My name is Steve Spielberg, and I just directed a movie called Jaws, and Jaws is about to be nominated in 11 categories. You're about to see us sweep the nominations. We're very confident at this very moment, and so if you all have a seat, we'll get on with it.
Yay! Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Happy Amblin podcast, the premier podcast blending and mending the filmographies of Adam Sandler and Steven Spielberg throughout history. One day we hope the two titans will unite on the big screen for our viewing pleasure, but for right now, we're hopping back and forth between their filmographies. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about Steven Spielberg's Jaws, a film we already talked about for Shark Week a couple years ago. But I'm your host, Diego Crespo. With me today, as always, is Matt Garingo.
Yep.
Matt, you once told me Jaws is your favorite movie. And then you told me that a bunch more times after that.
Yes, it is. Goodbye.
I have 7 kids. When they were all growing up, I told them stories every night. I went from room to room to room, telling them all different stories. And I do the same thing with a camera and a crew.
That was fun.
Yeah, Jaws is great. You know it. We talked about it. And then we talked about 3 sequels, which were not great, but were fun to talk about mostly.
What a mistake that was.
No, you know what? That's the shortest, retrospective series we've ever done. I'll take it.
Yeah, but... Yeah, that just makes it easier for you.
It does make it easier for me.
I'm talking about, but I care about the listeners, Diego.
Those are good episodes. I still recommend them to people.
Mostly because it takes the bare minimum of effort on my part to make quality episodes.
No, you know what?
I have the very low bar of just watching what we're going to talk about.
Well, you got to talk about it, too.
Yeah, but that's easy. I love the sound of my own voice.
Okay, but you can't just, blabber bullshit either, you know? There's effort into there.
Yeah, but I bring up every episode we've ever done as evidence against that. That's literally all I do. I pivot every episode to be about what I want to discuss. Gee, I hope that doesn't happen tonight.
Oh, no, of course not. Especially on this episode where we're not actually going to talk about Jaws. It's a great movie. It's maybe Spielberg's best. When people tell me they think it's his best, it's not something I really argue against. I'm like, yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. It's Jaws. It's the fucking best. On today's episode, we're actually going to talk about Steven Spielberg's directorial television debut, The Night Gallery, created by Rod Serling, and I have to say, recommended by Twitter follower and friend of the show, and welcome patron Andrew Levine. So thank you for recommending that we talk about this, because, quite frankly, Matt and I didn't know what to do for a Jaws episode. So we're going to kind of, I was going to say bullshit, but I think we're intelligent enough to carry a healthy conversation about The Night Gallery and everything else we want to talk about today. This is definitely going to be a looser episode, which is saying something.
Well, Diego, I hate to prove you wrong.
Oh no.
But now is the time for me to talk about what I planned for this episode.
Why do you do this? I don't even know what you're going to say.
Diego has no idea what I'm about to say. All right, I want to say something to listeners. So, we were struggling to figure out what to do for the Jaws episode. I was willing to just talk about Jaws again. But it seemed like a bit of a cheat, you know? And it also would have been confusing for the listeners, you know, the diehards to be like, what? There's 2 Jaws episodes? That's too confusing. We have very little respect for our listeners.
That's not what happened.
So...
Don't tell them something like that.
It's only going to get worse, Diego. So, we bounced off a couple of ideas, some of which were fun, and they sounded nice, but, would have required a basic effort on our part. So we didn't do it. And then someone on Twitter, one of our patrons, I found out, what is this person's name again?
Andrew Levine?
Andrew Levine, who was kind enough to give us money to do this, suggested Night Gallery. And Diego was like, yeah, let's just do that. I gotta be honest, Diego. I was annoyed at being told to do Night Gallery. Why? Who can really say? Sometimes I just get annoyed when people tell me to do things and make constructive suggestions. So, how long ago were we supposed to record this episode?
Oh my god, it might have been a month, but that's a separate thing.
So, about a month ago, we were supposed to record
No, okay, there
this.
was 1 week where we delayed, let's try to figure this out. And then things just kept piling on outside of our control, so we were like, oh no.
So,
Not again.
I'm just going to cut to the chase of this. I did not watch the Night Gallery episode.
Miss Joan Crawford, Ossie Davis, Richard Kiley, Roddy McDowell, and Barry Sullivan. Starring in the Night Gallery.
I had this really funny idea a couple weeks back that I would just come on and pretend I had seen the Night Gallery episode. Because I vaguely remember it. I saw it years ago, and I vaguely remember it. So I took no notes, and was just going to come on and see if you ever picked up on the fact that I hadn't watched the episode. But then we kept delaying it, and I forgot that I had done this. So then today, when I was getting ready, I went to go look for my notes. I realized I didn't have any. And frankly, we've delayed this episode too many times. And we kind of have to get it done. So I decided, fuck it. I was just going to come on and admit to my crimes. So I got nothing, Diego. I got nothing this week.
All right, well, thank you for admitting that in the middle of this episode.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Oh, no, we're only 7 minutes in.
Oh, yeah, no, it's great, it's great.
Night Gallery.
I have notes.
It's the one about the eyes.
Save this.
It's the one about the eyes, right?
Eyes, yeah, but okay, so the pack I got, because I had to buy this from Amazon. That's how committed I am to this show. I had to buy this from Amazon because I couldn't even find it anywhere online, like to rent, to buy as a single episode.
That was the other thing. I was not going to drop money for this.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend that, actually.
I've got to
Just
rent.
Healthy.
I've got to rent Bulletproof tomorrow or whatever the fuck.
I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. Just out in front. What I would recommend is interviews with Steven Spielberg about Night Gallery.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of interesting history. We talked about it on the Duel episode with Spielberg's, like the producer thing, Joan Crawford having to kind of step up for him because the casting or the crew behind the camera were giving him a hard time on set because he was like 21 or something like that when he got this job, and he like nails it. But the problem is, Matt, I don't know if you know this, but when you're a 21-year-old, you tend not to be the smartest person ever. And I'm not even calling Steven Spielberg an idiot, but at the time, this is a paraphrase quote from him. He was like devouring a lot of like the French New Wave and like a lot more experimental European cinema. And so when he got the job to do Night Gallery, he's like, "Oh, I can do that." In American television on NBC primetime, he was like, "I'm gonna make a European art film for the Night Gallery pilot."
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Oh yeah, no, people were not happy with him about that.
Yeah, that's partly why I didn't want to do this, because honestly, I saw the Night Gallery thing years ago, and it left like the bare minimum of impression on me.
I was shocked that this was a Rod Sterling thing.
Yeah,
because it's not good.
Night Gallery isn't that great. I'm sure there's like gems in there. I've never found them, but I have not seen a majority of Night Gallery.
I saw the first two. The pack I got came with 3 for their little pilot, right? It's like 3 short stories.
Yeah.
The first one had Roddy McDowell.
Yeah, that's the pilot episode, I believe.
Yeah, and I really love him. I grew up with him on Fright Night, though, so that's what I know him as. To see him as like a smug Southern like asshole, it just felt weird to me. I was like, this is wrong.
Have you not seen the Planet of the Apes films?
Yeah, I have, but I don't remember him in them. Wasn't he the monkey?
What?
Yeah.
He was Cornelius and then Caesar.
Oh, that's why I don't remember.
Jesus Christ.
I haven't seen the originals in a couple years.
You know, when Peter Jackson was gonna do a Planet of the Apes film in like the early 90s, I believe. When they tried, like, they spent like since the 80s they were trying to like reboot it, and he had this like, I think he was the one who wanted to do Planet of the Apes, but it's the Renaissance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the fuck that was going to look like, but I think that was the basic pitch. And Peter Jackson went to some executives at 20th Century Fox and was like, "Hey, we got Roddy McDowell. He's interested." And the executive went, "Who's Roddy McDowell?"
Aww.
And then Peter Jackson was like, "Oh, maybe I don't want to do this." And then he went off and made Heavenly Creatures, I believe.
Blind spot for me with Peter Jackson.
Oh man, it's real good. It's like his one where everyone was like, because he had done like he'd done like Meet the Feebles and like Brain Dead, which are just like insane. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do an art film."
Sodomy, you must think it very odd of me that I enjoy the act of sodomy. You might call the wrath of God on me, but if you tried it, then you might agree that you enjoy the act of sodomy.
I would recommend a lot of Peter Jackson's stuff. Really fun splatter horror madness.
No, yeah, it's Meet the Feebles is a very acquired taste. I don't know who I'd recommend Meet the Feebles to.
Would you say it's like kind of trauma-y? Like if you like trauma stuff?
It's very trauma-y. And it's a nightmare kind of.
Please, God, I know I've been a bad bunny, but if you make me well again,
is sacred.
Meet the Feebles! Meet the Feebles! The natural average. Ordinary people meet the Feebles.
Meet the Feebles is about to be released on you.
It's a very disturbing film. It's a comedy, though. It's a comedy.
What is not disturbing and what is unintentionally a comedy is honestly this first episode of The Night Gallery. I have to be honest, and we're probably not going to spend much more time talking about it right now. I was really shocked that it was this bad. Like I felt like I had stepped into the Twilight Zone, but it was me as the protagonist discovering like some alternate universe where the Twilight Zone sucked. And I was just so surprised. Like in the first setup for the first episode of The Night Gallery, it's not even the one Spielberg directed. I'll just say really quick, his is about someone getting a new pair of eyes from someone in a lot of debt, and it's got some really fancy camera work, and it doesn't really like add up to anything. It just my experience with these first two is just that it's kind of a lull-worthy show.
The
like,
New
it just
York
kind of puts you into a lull.
Doesn't the New York blackout happen?
Yes, and so she has to struggle with that for the duration of the episode, and then as the sun comes up at the end, her eyesight goes away, and it's supposed to be like, oh, isn't that ironic? But it's like, okay, but like, why? And so basically both of these episodes have like this, they try to build this weird thriller tension,
mm-hmm.
and then it just doesn't work. I don't know if it's like a mismatch with the material or the material is not good. It might be both. And there's always a shocking revelation at the end. And the shocking revelation isn't really shocking. It's just like, it just happens and then the episode ends. And I'm left with like, I could have been watching the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
So that's too bad.
Yeah, it's a shame. I don't know. I've heard there are good episodes of Night Gallery. I just haven't seen them. But it's also I think not easy to, as you mentioned, it's not really easy to get a hold of anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really streaming anywhere. And I'm not nostalgic for, like, I was when the when the complete Twilight Zone went to DVD, I bought it because it's the fucking Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything. I'm not, like, nostalgic for Night Gallery.
Oh, here's how fucked up the distribution is for Night Gallery. They have every episode of all 3 seasons available on Amazon Prime.
You know.
Except for this pilot episode that I needed to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That was not included. Who decided that? Like, I don't understand these decisions. I guess because it was, like, technically a television movie? But that's still weird.
That is odd. I think that is part of it. But it's also weird. I mean, you know what? I'm also running into this problem with, I just started the new Creepshow streaming series. And there's something about it where Creepshow really works because it's all kind of just George Romero and Stephen King, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the show, it's different writers and then different directors every episode, and it creates this really uneven feeling. And it's doubly odd that Creepshow does this thing where each episode is actually 2 stories.
Huh.
So it makes it even more uneven, frankly. Like, you don't even get that reset at the end of the story where you're like, oh, well, that was something. And then you can watch something else. It's like you get 2 stories, and sometimes they're very different than each other. They don't really complement each other very well.
Huh, that sounds very odd.
To anyone who's seen it, I really like the one with the head. So
I can't tell if you're being serious.
No, I am serious. I really like that one. The ending was kind of like, but really, really smart setup for a story.
Well, you know what I do like about these...
You still haven't seen Creepshow, have you?
No.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? I will watch it
fucker
the moment we're done recording.
Okay, there you go.
I will put it on. I will tweet about it, so you know I'm being for real.
Yeah. We live in an age where we're all desperate to leave our mark on the universe, and the only way we can do it is by tweeting everything we're doing all the time.
That's how you let people know that you have a life.
Yeah.
And they validate you, so you can get that good, sweet hit of serotonin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, give me that, give me that fucking serotonin.
Yeah.
Fucking
that's why I'll never be happy again. Too many of my tweets got popular at random times, and I've been chasing that high.
gotta chase that dragon, man.
Yeah. I'll just be desperately tweeting at 3 a.m. Like something. Let one shit post like gain notoriety. Let Drill retweet me.
All the tweets of mine that have ever gotten popular are ones that I hate, so...
Well, I hate everything I tweet.
That usually helps. That's probably... Yeah, you know what? That helps, too. There's an intense amount of self-loathing going on. I'm desperately trying to tweet stuff that gets 0 likes, as you can tell. That's the high I'm
Make
chasing.
a hard right into, like, conservative Twitter?
No, because that's very easy to get likes on. No, that's why there's such a strong presence, because that's why the resistance also fucking sucks. Because it's all people being like, oh, Donald's going down this week, and a bunch of people like it, because that's what we desperately want to happen. And then nothing happens, because Nancy Pelosi won't fucking do anything.
No, but she sarcastically clapped at him one time, so she's a queen.
Nancy Pelosi, first of her name.
Oh, no, fuck you. Fuck off. I saw that tweet going around. Fuck off.
We live in hell. This is hell. You realize, though, part of the reason why Night Gallery might not have worked for us is because we are living in an episode of Night Gallery. It's not good enough to be an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Fuck, that's fucked up.
The fucking game show guy is running the country. And, like, the planet is literally on fire, and all we can do is go, should we do something?
No. We can't do anything, because then we'd be breaking rules that are established to keep people in power.
Yeah.
people that do not have our best interests at heart or mind.
You're saying Tesla Motors isn't invested in my future?
Well, they sent a car to space. I feel like that kind of answers the question.
So they are.
That sucks a lot.
Things are bad. So stupid. That's why horror anthologies are coming back. It's the only way we can process this shit. What's your take?
Well, I like that all these horror anthology shows are popping up again, because even if, like, to be honest, I'm not watching all of them. I just think it's kind of neat. Because then you just let directors come in and kind of, like, stretch their genre muscles and, like, hey, this would be fun. And, like, let's see what we could do with, like, a werewolf story over here. Or, like, oh, I don't know, something about, like the Mexican immigrant experience over here. I think Blumhouse just did something like that was apparently, like, really good that I haven't seen. So I'm going to check that out on Hulu when I get a chance. But I don't know, I just think that's really neat because it's harder to get movies made right now. So that's...
Yeah.
TV's kind of interesting. It's in an interesting place right now. And I don't know, I just think that's kind of nice to appreciate. TV's
in a very, very interesting place, especially with streaming. But good thing we can trust Netflix to handle all this well. Hey, Netflix, where the fuck is The Irishman playing? God damn it. I just want to see The Irishman. God damn.
You'll be able to see it on your computer or television at home.
Fuck that. I'm going to a theater, goddammit. Why is the Joker being projected in 70mm?
That's so weird.
Was it shot on 70mm?
No, it was shot on like an Arri Alexa.
Then why is it being projected on 70mm?
I don't know, but okay, here's the thing.
Why is it on IMAX?
Yeah, on IMAX I get, like I'm not gonna ever watch that movie. This is coming out after LA Comic-Con, but
we will be in the seventh
thoughts on the Joker.
We will be in the 7th stage of Joker discourse by the time this episode drops.
Yeah, no, I've been really good because I haven't tweeted out a single thought about like the actual movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm feeling good about that. But no, it's bad. But like generally, like I don't. Like, I'm really looking forward to Gemini Man. Oh, shit, I'm supposed to watch that tonight. Anyways, I like...
Wait. You're gonna watch Gemini Man over Creepshow?
Absolutely.
Holy fuck, I hate you. I will bet money right now that you will like Creepshow more than Gemini Man.
I don't know, I really like Ang Lee.
I don't give a fuck. If you like Ang Lee fucking Gemini Man bullshit more than Creepshow, I don't know why we do this podcast.
I'm Rod Serling. I would like to invite you to join me for the telling of 3 stories represented in this gallery by these paintings, to be displayed here for the first time. Each is a collector's item in its own way, not because of any special artistic quality, but because each captures on a canvas, suspends in time and space, a frozen moment in a nightmare.
My abiding concern, Doctor, and my singular preoccupation is myself. 11 hours or 12, fewer or more, it makes no difference. I want to see something. Trees, concrete, buildings, grass, airplanes, color!
Well, anyways, the point I wanted to make is that I like when people like experiment. So like when Phantom Thread, it was shot on 35mm. It got blown up to 70mm screenings, and it added, like, this cool texture and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I think it's cool to play with, like, formats and whatever. But the problem with the Joker doing that is that it doesn't matter to that movie because it's, like, garbage.
Well, it's everything about the movie. At some point, they realized that they might have a prestige film instead of just a, comic book movie. So the marketing made like a total shift.
Mm-hmm.
Like now it's like they're trying to make it an event. Also because as per usual, Warner Brothers is desperately trying to recreate the lightning in a bottle that was the Dark Knight's release.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because like every ad for the Joker now is like how you can't miss it because it is electrifying. and then now the other wave of it is that it's too controversial for people to handle it.
And it's like it's not even as violent as like an average episode of Game of Thrones was. It's like,
but it's also like
are used to that.
Both movies it's emulating, I think, would stir more controversy than the Joker itself.
Yeah,
like even King of Comedy, I think, would rub people more the wrong way than the Joker, really.
Well, especially with the ending, yeah. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. I really think. I mean, we tweeted back and forth about it for a second on Twitter earlier. Like that, it's just the way that the big movies are like made, and they're kind of the only ones that like people are allowed to consume because they're the ones that take up like the theaters the most, you know? So when something even moderately different comes along, people are like, wait, whoa, hold up. You know, like people want different. I'm not even trying to be like trying to diminish audiences or viewers. I'm just saying like people want different. And when they finally get it, like even the slightest sliver of it, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me because I've seen The King of Comedy and Taxi Driver, but you know, I get it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. But also, I think there's a weird thing happening right now where, to me, the past year has convinced me that you are right. Audiences are desperate for variety. But the problem is that you can only do so much variety that the audience will take, you know? Like, you can't... Like, 52 movies a year might be the limit, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I think what we're seeing is there's a big problem where... Because, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was, like, a huge hit, you know? And I feel like The Irishman would be a huge hit, but Netflix is fucking up the release. You know?
Yeah.
I just think that we're at this age where I think we might just see theaters kind of roll back to, you know, where there's a movie theater and it literally is playing one movie on the weekend. I think that's where we're heading. The problem is all the multiplexes aren't invested in that future, so they don't want to, you know, pivot towards it, and then streaming just wants to absorb everything. So... Because I think there's a theater in my house that it just opened and it's only 5 theaters, and I think that's a fine model, you know? I think that's going to be the limit in the future. I don't know, I feel like there's, you know, as bad as things are, I'm getting this sense of, like, the wave rolling back, you know?
You know, doing these retrospectives with you and hearing your take on this, like, so often, I can see your optimism. Like, it's improved over the course of the last couple of years, which is nice.
I just think that it's this thing of Hollywood has to find a new way to make it work, and they don't want to. That's the weird thing. They're not incentivized like they were in the past to find a new path. Instead, they're just like, oh, streaming is the new gold, and that's what they're all pivoting to, and hopefully that will implode.
Oh, no, it's going to. Other brands are going to recognize very quickly that, like, oh, we can't support, like, creating entire productions like this. How did Netflix do it? And then Netflix will be drowning, like, in the corner of debt. Like, whatever system they got working, it's going to keep working for them. It's so weird. But here's what you need to do to keep theaters alive. Play the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance every weekend on the big screen. All 10 episodes.
There you go.
Just do it. It's the best show of the decade.
Wouldn't that be that? Honestly, like, I know that's kind of a joke, but wouldn't that be interesting if like serials came back where every week you'd go to the theater and it'd be a new movie, but before that you would get one new episode of Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. So you have to go every week to follow the story.
You're gonna hate me for saying this, but I think I hate you more for putting that out in the world. Because I see the Marvel movies becoming that.
Yeah, no, I could see that, but I don't think Marvel has that hook that you need. Frankly.
Do you really think that they're gonna flounder?
I don't know if flounder, but I think the jury is still out, frankly. I think, what they do in the next year is really going to determine it. The real thing is that they're now pivoting to streaming with Disney Plus, and that could be the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we could be like, we might end up in a world where the Star Wars films are going straight to Disney Plus. I mean, that just could be what it is, but who knows? I don't know. I really don't. But I feel like if Marvel pulls back a little, because Marvel doesn't seem to be increasing the number of movies they're making, they're just now splitting it between theaters and streaming. And that leaves room for stuff to fill that. That's the problem, is that Marvel really hasn't, it's taken up so much of our lives that it hasn't allowed room for other things. And all the movies that have been trying to replace it have been trying to emulate Marvel, when really the answer is you got to do something different. What that different is, I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, Dark Crystal Age of Resistance is amazing.
Somehow the director of The Incredible Hulk, Now You See Me, and I don't know, some other generic action trash that I can't remember, director Louis Leterrier, is a genius, apparently?
I guess. I think it just goes to show you that the problem with Now You See Me, which is, I think, made my list of worst of the decade, the problem with it wasn't directing. It was writing and premise, and then directing.
I don't know. That guy, he surprised me.
Although I stopped in the middle of Dark Crystal for now.
Okay, I won't say anything.
I had to take a break because it was depressing me.
It's aggravating, right?
Yeah, it's aggravating, and I also made the mistake of, I watched Neon Genesis Evangelion for the first time, which is like, I mean, there's a before and after with that, as I will just say.
Oh. Oh no!
I've been walking around in this world in the after of completing End of Evangelion, which was an amazing experience, and I deeply regret doing it.
So I shouldn't watch it.
No, you totally should. It's amazing. I tweeted about this. You know, like, people will come up to me and be like, you got to watch this thing. It's the greatest thing ever. And you, like, your friends, they all say that about everything.
Yeah.
As I just said about Creepshow earlier.
Yeah, but you've been saying that for a while, so that one I will actually watch.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, even Creepshow, which I love, it's not the greatest thing ever. It's just, like, great. And you will like it. You'll love it. But every now and then there's that one thing where everyone's like, you should watch it, it's great. And you're like, yeah, I'll get around to it eventually. And then you do, and you regret not watching it earlier. That was what Neon Genesis Evangelion was.
See, because right now, it's weird. No one told me to rush out and watch the original Dark Crystal movie. I just did it because I was like, I like puppets and stuff. That's cool, and I like Jim Henson. And I was like, yeah, I'm up early, whatever. The sun's barely out. And then I went out into the world with, like, wide-eyed wonder. And just, like, it changed my life. And then that night, 11:59 p.m. PST, the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance hit Netflix, and I was like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. And it was just the best, but no one told me to watch it, like, right away. People were like, yeah, it might be for you, it might not. And it is just, it's the most Diego. It is the most Diego thing ever.
You had to watch it so you could be the apostle of it.
I guess so.
It was meant for you to be the apostle of.
Yeah, I'll get a Dark Crystal tattoo. I don't care. Did the apostles have tattoos?
Who gives a shit? But see, so you're the apostle of Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. I'm the apostle of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
That's right. I gotta watch that.
And the people that weirded you out in high school are the apostles of Neon Genesis Evangelion. And unfortunately, unfortunately, they were right.
No, you know what? God bless my high school friends that were all into Neon Genesis Evangelion, who I'm still close friends with. They never stopped recommending it to me.
No, I'm friends with those people too. But I was like, they recommend, it's like, oh, anime, ugh. Like, There's so many, and then like you just look at it and you're like, I'm not watching this. I can't keep respecting myself and watching this, and it just pisses me off that they were so right about Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh god, I don't know what anime it was. I could not tell you for the life of me. But I remember one time I went to Anime Expo like twice in LA, right? And one of the times I was hanging out with my friends after getting food, and they're like, "Yeah, let's watch something while we're waiting." And so they put on some anime, and I don't know what was going on, but I thought it was like Seinfeld, like a day in the life kind of show. Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Oh, is this like Seinfeld or like what's going on here?" And then, like, I shit you not, 30 seconds later, they're battling, like, interdimensional space demons. And then, like, half the main cast that's established in the episode is just brutally murdered on screen. And I was like, what is happening?
That actually sounds fantastic, whatever that was.
Oh, yeah, so me and Anime and I have a love-hate relationship.
Yes. I think that's a lot of us.
Yeah. But not the Night Gallery. I just have
We're completely indifferent to Night Gallery.
Yeah, I'm like, it's really cool to see Spielberg think he could do European art house on NBC, but, not... Oh, and a great Joan Crawford performance. Just fantastic. But...
Man, Rod Serling was only 50 when he died.
God, that's way too young. That's just tragic.
He was known as the angry young man of Hollywood.
I mean, that's just you, Matt.
Hey, oh no, I don't want to fill those shoes.
No, not not the death part.
Yeah, but there's a reason you drop dead at 50 sometimes. I'm hoping. All right, I gotta check now. I'm praying to God it was cancer from all those cigarettes and not like a heart attack.
That would be amazing. Just like behind the scenes stuff. Like, Rod, the cigarette's already down to the bud. You got to start a new one. He's like, oh, don't tell me twice.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh God, he had a minor heart attack and was hospitalized. Sterling had a third heart attack.
You don't drink, you don't smoke. Your odds are pretty good.
He had a second heart attack 2 weeks later, which required open heart surgery, and then had a third heart attack during the surgery, and died. Wow. That's how an angry man dies.
I'm sorry for laughing, but like, oh my God.
Wow. Maybe I should see someone about these chest pains.
Yeah, maybe just to be safe. Oh my God.
Gotta get that Yamaha sports heart. It's a RoboCop reference.
Is it time for that big operation? This may be the most important decision of your life. So come down and talk to one of our qualified surgeons. Here at the Family Heart Center, we feature the complete Jarvik line. Series 7 Sports Heart by Jensen. Yamaha. You picked the heart. Extended warranties. Financing. Qualifies for health tax credit. And remember, we care.
What I was gonna say before I found out that horrible fate that's awaiting me, it's too bad Rod Serling died before he could see the rise of anime in the West.
Do you think Rod Serling and Hayao Miyazaki would have been
friends?
Serling.
It's Serling. I keep saying Sterling too, but it's Serling.
Serling. Do you think Rod Serling and Hayao Miyazaki would have been friends?
Oh, God. That's actually a real difficult one. It's hard to believe Miyazaki has any friends, frankly. Miyazaki seems like the guy, like, you might like him, but you don't want him around that often.
Well, he seems like a guy who's like a coworker who's really great at his job. And you could even work with, you'll butt heads, but, passionate and...
But he's the boss that everyone is trying to satisfy.
Yeah. Not exactly want to go for a beer after.
There was one of the movies, there's a behind-the-scenes video of him, like, making food for all his staff.
Oh, that's nice.
As, like, a reward for all of them working so hard. Which, hey, we might re-examine some of his methods in the age where we're re-examining Crunch. Although, to be honest, he's, like, the one example of Crunch where, like, it really is kind of about passion and not trying to meet corporate deadlines. Not that makes it any better, but, you know.
Well, look, didn't he send a sword to Harvey Weinstein?
He sent a sword to Harvey Weinstein. He had to tell him not to edit any more of Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, so, you know, people are complicated, but that's a heck of a win in my book.
Did you see the quote from Bong Joon-ho that's been going around?
Oh, yeah. Because this will probably just all be in the episode, because this is kind of a...
Yeah, this is
free-floating
thoughts and shit.
Yeah. But there's a great quote, I'll put it up here for the YouTube viewers, but where Bong Joon-ho, director of films like Mother, Snowpiercer, Memories of Murder, Okja, and many more.
Bong was making Snowpiercer, which was produced by Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein wanted him to cut 25 minutes, and he had to fight over literally everything. So here's a quote from an article about that production. Bong was at a loss. Cutting 25 minutes felt like taking out a major organ. Without the dialogue, the movie became incoherent. Character motivation made no sense. That day, he managed to save one scene: the moment when a train guard guts a fish in front of the rebels as a show of intimidation. Bong and the cinematographer loved that shot. Harvey hated it. Why fish? We need action, Bong remembers. I had a headache in that moment. What do I do? So suddenly I said, Harvey, this shot means something to me. Oh, Bong, what? Bong as Harvey booms. It's something personal, Bong replies. My father was a fisherman. I'm dedicating this shot to my father. Weinstein relents immediately. You should have said something earlier, Bong. Family is the most important. You have the shot. I said thank you, Bong says, laughing. It was a fucking lie. My father was not a fisherman.
I love that guy. Hashtag Bonghive.
Where the fuck?
Forward to Parasite.
Where the fuck is Parasite playing? Jesus Christ.
It's actually playing in 2 theaters in LA.
Good lord, you should go see it.
I might double feature it with Gemini Man.
Just to mock me. I can't see it right now, and I really want to.
Look, this is how I know that this totally makes sense why I didn't have a lot of friends as a kid, because I'm genuinely excited for Gemini Man. That looks like a movie that I will enjoy, and I'm a little confused as to why people are so against it.
You know why you'll probably enjoy it, and you know why it's not getting good reviews? I think it's because it's a script from the 90s.
Yeah, one of the Jerry Bruckheimer production ones, right?
Yeah, they've been trying to get it made since the 90s, so it's a 90s action movie dropping in the middle of the 2010s.
That's so perfect.
I think that's right up your alley, and it's also a genre we rightfully left behind. So that seems to be the case, in my opinion. I like how, though, it was written, though, that it's an older clone versus his younger clone, so they could cast 2 different actors. And then we got to the age where you can just have the actor play both characters.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's Ang Lee. He's a dude who just likes experimenting with digital film.
Yeah, when he made.
That's why I really appreciate him.
With Billy whatever's halftime whatever.
Billy Lynn's halftime walk.
Yeah, a real transformative film.
Not a fan.
And Life of Pi, which everyone lied to me and said was good.
No, Life of Pi is good.
You know who almost directed Life of Pi?
You could say Michael Mann or some shit again.
No. I don't know how you're going to feel about this one, honestly. M. Night Shyamalan. They really wanted him to do it. He was being groomed for it, and then I believe he either went to do The Last Airbender or After Earth.
I don't hate After Earth. I'm not a fan, but I don't hate it. But I
don't really remember After Earth.
I still wouldn't recommend it, but I definitely have no harsh feelings towards it. But I don't know, man. I kind of feel like Shyamalan's one of those dudes who maybe his wheelhouse is under $50 million.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that might be the case.
Yeah. Or maybe he just jumped to the blockbuster stuff sooner than he should have. I don't know. Everyone's different.
But I also, I just watched a video about The Last Airbender. And, even for him, the decisions in that movie are baffling. That's a movie that it really is kind of the train wreck everyone says it is. There isn't even like a hidden something to it that I think all of M. Night's films, even the ones I don't like, all have some real thing you can latch onto and be like, oh, that was kind of cool. It's totally missing in Last Airbender, and then also it's directed in someone who's never made a film before, which is not the case with M. Night, which makes it even weirder. What's going on with that guy?
I don't know, but I really loved his last three.
No. I still don't get what anyone's talking about with Glass.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's just not for you.
I don't get how everyone watched that and was like, good movie.
Well, no, that was very much not the case. I don't know how you can say that.
Yeah, I'm talking about the people I interact with, not critics.
Okay.
Because everyone seems to really like it, and I'm completely at a loss.
Well, actually, you know what? Mark Kermode, I think, liked it, right?
Yeah, but he's kind of been like a Shyamalan, he's one of those guys who's always been rooting for Shyamalan,
Yeah.
But I like Mark Kermode.
Yeah, I don't like the bigger critics. I think he's probably my go-to just to hear, even if I don't agree with him, because Well,
I always have there's those 5 critics you go to that even if you disagree with them from time to time, you want to get their opinions.
Yeah. I mean that's a real big difference I think between people who actually understand what film criticism's about and people who just want to hear their opinions echoed on YouTube and validated.
Yes, I think that there's a big difference.
Yeah.
That needs help, frankly. Oh my god, I went back to my hometown a couple weeks back, and goddamn, the amount of people that were talking about Rotten Tomatoes made me nervous. Particularly how they trust the audience scores more than the critic scores.
I think that site needs to end.
I don't even want to blame the site. We have a very poorly educated country when it comes to film.
Well, the arts as a whole, honestly, I mean, how many generic sitcoms do episodes or moments where someone goes to an art show and then the joke is that the painting or something's about nothing, but everyone else sees something in it except for the main character, and he's the one who's aware of a situation or whatever.
It's the only show that's ever done that right?
Malcolm in the Middle.
No, maybe, I don't know.
There's one with music that's really good, but go ahead.
Columbo.
What?
There's an episode where he goes to a modern art gallery and is confused by all of it. And, I mean, you are meant to laugh at the art, too, but you're also kind of laughing at Columbo for not getting it. Because then at the end of it, he's like, what is this piece called? And they're like, how much is that worth? And he's always he's impressed by how much... It's honestly more a joke about, the money around that art, which is the thing that usually gets ignored,
mm-hmm.
which I think is worth discussing. And then he mistakes an air conditioner for being part of the art gallery.
Oh, Columbo.
Oh, Columbo.
We should have just talked about another Columbo episode this time.
We probably should have, but we didn't.
Oh, well. Go watch Columbo. Skip Night Gallery.
Maybe I should do a Columbo podcast.
I genuinely believe you should.
Maybe I should.
Oh, okay, but you know what you have to do? And then we'll wrap up this, because this was I don't know how we talked this long about anything. But okay, so... You do your Columbo podcast, have a different guest on every episode, except for when they cast the same actor as a Columbo villain or someone else. Then you bring on the previous guest who appeared on that previous episode.
That's a great idea, actually.
You're welcome.
So you're already gonna get what's his name?
Jack Cassidy?
Yeah, you're gonna get him.
Yeah,
because we did that episode, and we can do that. I guess we'll do that episode again just for the fuck of it.
Yeah, because it's also just way better than the Night Gallery episode.
Yeah. And then we can actually, like, we can straight up talk. We can go in depth on that episode. Yeah, this is a really good idea.
Yeah, I'm telling you, write it down.
Okay, I don't
Someone
know.
else is going to take it after they listen to this.
The problem is I don't know enough people to have different guests every time.
I feel like I will produce it, and then I could find you guests.
Okay.
That's my role.
There you go. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I got 1 million of them.
All right. I'm glad I got Diego in my corner.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to call
one's in Night Gallery's corner, though. So we're going to end this now.
I'd want to call the podcast Just One More Thing, but that's got to be the name of a podcast out there.
Yeah, look it up. Make sure it's not taken. But otherwise, Matt, thanks for joining me again on this technically episode. I promise I'll just release a legitimate episode back to back with this, so it's not. I want people to listen to this to know that I do appreciate them checking it out. But Matt, where can the people find you?
I'm at EmperorOTN1 at twitter.com.
And you can find me at twitter.com as well, at the Diego Crespo, the Waffle Press on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and check out the Patreon, where you can find unedited episodes, weird upcoming graphics for episodes, and all this other nonsense. Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We have been professionally unprofessional.
You look here, old man. Death is final. Death is it.
I think not, Mr. Jeremy. I think there are things stronger than death and more lasting than the grave.
Portafoy?
I think hate is stronger than death, Mr. Jeremy, and I think you're beginning to realize that. Join me for the unveiling at the Night Gallery.
This is a dark day in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
The sun is shining, but this is a very dark
day for our pal.
The greatest picture of all time was made, and they haven't recognized the director.
Who made it? The shark?
It's a matter of logic. Who made the best picture?
All right. Enough.
That's it.
I'm suffering enough.
All right, we're suffering
no more,
with
I'm
you.
suffering.
We're suffering
Cancel my day.
Right, we're getting drunk.
Cancel my week.
Right, let's go to Lost Weekend.
I'm going to Palm Springs.
On Wednesday.
Right.
Tuesday.
What?
Let's hear it.
Only for what?
Best picture, best editing, best score, and sound. And that's it.
That's it? Best screenplay?
Nothing. Not even special effects.
Not even special effects?
Oh.
This is called commercial backlash.
Right.
I don't know if anybody knows the word commercial backlash, but when a film makes a lot of money, people resent it. Everybody loves a winner, but nobody loves a winner.
Right.